kids, welcome back to Roto Talk.
Welcome back. It has been a while. So I think everybody's probably mad at me, the guys in the boat group and Uncle Joe and everybody, because I've just taken forever to get going on this boat build. But the smoking hot wife has had me building a chicken coop, chicken run thing, and the weather has just been crap. Between the rain, we've had tornadoes. My best friend's house got completely decimated and wiped out by a tornado. The weather's just sucked. There hasn't been a lot of incentive to start things, but here we go. We're going to start this off. So grab your roto twisters. I'm going to do this in reasonably short sections, nothing huge, nothing long. Today we're going to frame up and do the tub, hopefully the whole thing, as far as frame goes. So I've been looking through, I read this, what's this thing? Called the manual. So this is interesting. So 2 years ago, I built the prototype for Uncle Joe that nobody knew about, I don't think. A couple of us did out in the field. And they were, he sent out prototype kits of this kit. And he's like, hey, keep it on the down low. Let me know what you think. Like I'm an authority, I guess. Not really. But so I did. I built it. It was a very, very cool boat. Had it for 2 years. And I harassed Uncle Joe just like everybody else did. When's the rigger coming? When's the rigger coming? Poor guy. So I apologize on behalf of all of us impatient people.
This ends now.
And now we have the new one. And I read through the whole manual today, sitting at my desk in my office, and made some pretty cool changes as compared to the old one or any one. I built every rigger Uncle Joe has done. If you see these slots here, this is the main bottom plate of the rigger. These are slots for the ski, which is nice. So the ski is wider now, and it's polarized. You can't screw it up. You don't have to measure and get it in the middle all the time. My buddy in our boat group, that dumbass on one of his FEs, his electric riggers, lost his ski yesterday. It's like, you're not supposed to use white glue on the build, and anyway, so there you go. Lots of neat little idiosyncratic things that we will show you as time goes on. So if you're new to the channel, new to boats, what is a rigger? All right, a rigger is basically one of the only RC boats that isn't a real boat. Like, I don't think there's such thing as a real rigger race boat. Okay, so what a rigger is basically a hydroplane like this. We all know what hydroplanes look like, right? But it's missing the middle body parts. Okay, so if you were to take this off this Blazer and cut this off, cut this one out, and put booms on the Sponsons, that's basically what you get with a gas rigger. So, or any rigger. What's nice about that is you don't have that wind that just gets underneath it and lifts it up. Riggers are exceptionally stable, turn super, super tight, super fast. Very, very, very cool machine. So, a couple of things. We are going to go basically by the manual. I'm not going to wing it because there are some good tips in the manual. And we're just going to go down the line here. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with the tub. And you will see all of the bulkheads in this particular build are doubled up. All right. So, if you look at number 2 and 2A, okay, you can see that we're going to glue these together to double them up. 2 1/8-inch pieces equaling 1/4 of an inch, right? 4A and 4. With this kit, you can see how it's a little bit warped there. It's because I've had this kit sitting in my shop for a while. It probably warped out a little bit. We're going to clamp these together and glue them. If you see laser markings on any of these, those go together. Yink, yink, peanut butter, jelly, that type of thing. So anything that you've got like this 3 and 3A are going to go like that, facing each other. Laser marks are not going to be on the outside. Same thing with the tub sides. You can see 3 in, or I'm sorry, in R, in R. Okay, they're just mirrors of each other. Nice and strong. Okay, so a couple tips here. One thing that I do with my building board I always sand it down because it's probably got glue and goo and all that crap on it. You want to have a reasonably flat surface, all right? The other thing I do is I will take some 150 sandpaper and I literally just staple it right to the board. That way when you're doing this number, you need to get those little laser nubs off much faster to do it that way, okay? Very, very cool. Just little tricks, right? We've got 5-minute epoxy. You're going to need 5-minute, 30-minute epoxy, of course, like with anything else. And then for a lot of this, I'm actually going to try to use Type Bond 3. Type Bond 3 is waterproof. Type Bond 2 is water resistant, and Type Bond 1, or original Type Bond, is just wood glue. I've never tested those theories, but whatever. So I've only ever used wood number 3. So here's our some little taggy dudes here. We're going to double those. We're going to double our booms. So these here, Shazam, okay, and the sides, easy peasy, okay. So we're going to do all the bulkheads. Now if you read the manual, mine's a little bit confusing, so Uncle Joe, if you're watching this, we got 5. This is for the stern, transom, 5, 5A, and T for transom. And if you go by the instructions, say 5B, 5A, 5B, it says laminate these two together. Don't put on 5B until it's in the boat. I don't have a 5B, I have a T. Pretty sure. So I'm thinking that might be a typo. It's got to be because there's no other T here. So no big deal. That's what we're going to do. So another thing, don't buy a bottle like this. I got this huge bottle, I think at Menards or Lowe's, and realistically this is water-based glue, and the problem with the water-based glue is over time it gets bad. Moisture evaporates out of it, this, that, whatever. Get the unless you're like building 20 boats in a summer, which I don't do anymore, maybe 2 or 3. Just buy the normal, whatever, pint size, and that way if you have it more than a year, just throw it away. It's cheaper too. So what we're going to do here, obviously you want to make sure these made up. Get all your little sanding nubs off, or all your little laser nubs off. I already did this yesterday. Just hit it on that sandpaper over there, bada bing. There you go. Make sure all your holes are going to line up. Get yourself a brush. Now what we're going to do, okay, been a while. How you guys been? Good, good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some glue, we're going to shove it in a cup. Dixie cup works great. I did shake this. Another thing you're going to want to do, take yourself a razor blade, cut it off with your Dremel wheel, okay, and that way you've got a nice straight edge that you can scrape glue off with if you need it. So what we're going to do is laminate these. Remember, laser etchings go towards each other, facing each other. That way you can't screw this up. Okay, you don't want to get a ton of glue in those holes. We'll clean them out later if we do. Now, the important trick here is to make sure these are lined up nice and even. Okay, so hold it at a 3-point. I'm using my pinky like that. Make sure they don't move. Swedish. Boom. Like, save yourself some time. Take your finger. It's just wood glue. Washes right off your hands. Perfect. And rinse and repeat. We're going to do that for all the bulkheads. So that's the transom. Yep. That's the transom piece we put on last. We're not going to do it with that. We're going to do 4, 4A, 2, 2A, 3, 3A, and 1, 1A. Okay? And we're going to do all these little bits too, but I'll just do the bulkheads. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back. So, all of the bulkheads are gluing and laminating. That. Ooh, it's been a long day, kids. Sorry. Are clamped and gluing. Okay? And this is the one thing I definitely use Type Bond for. always use tight bound for this. So now these are reinforcements for your boom tubes. Your boom tubes are going to slide through here, okay? So what you can do, the kit comes with aluminum boom tubes, okay, that you can put through here. Hang on just a second. So it comes with these little tubies, all right? And what you can do, if you want to, yeah, we got to finish that, sand this off. A little bit of a burr on there. You can put these on to line this up, okay? Stick a clamp on there, take them off, okay? Probably not the worst idea. So what I mean by that, just to help you out, you don't want these getting out of alignment because then you have to sand the crap out of them, right? Just put it together like that. Put the tube through it. No. Dummy. Okay. There you go. Bada bing. Easy enough, okay? And we're going to do that with this. You're going to have 4 of them. 2 for the front tube, 2 for the back tube. Then we're going to do the same thing with these. These are for, I think, fuel bag and battery holder or something to that knowledge. Not really sure. These are going to go in the back tub. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do these. And you don't have to use the tube trick to line them up. Usually if you just do this, and if they're a little tiny touch off. But you want these to be pretty good and tight, so everything's lines up nice and straight. Your rigger's not straight, bad things are going to happen. It's gonna swim like a Canadian goose. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. We'll be right back. And actually, we'll be back right after these are done curing as well. So, be right back. Forgot. So, we're also going to do the exact same process with the right and left side walls. Remember, laser marks go against each other. Make sure they're good and lined up. You can use the bar trick again if you want to line them up with that and really clamp them well. Try not to get glue in the slot areas. That's a real pain in the butt to get back out. Okay? So just be careful. All right, we're going to do those as well. Be right back. Okay, so not one to waste time. What we're going to do, we've got everything curing up. We've got the sides curing up with all clamped up. Okay, everything's fine with that. Takes a while. Not long, 20 minutes maybe, if you got a decent temperature outside. But what we're going to do, just to kind of split up some of the load, for when you're building sponsons, this is a little bit different than the old ones used to be. Old ones used to be like one piece of foam, and this is a triple shed layer like the prototype was. So doing sponsons can be kind of intimidating because there's like a lot of pieces that go on at once. So while we're waiting for everything to cure up, what we're going to do is we're going to take both sponson sides, okay, and we're going to glue them together. You got 4 pieces. It does not matter which one goes where, but there is left and right. This is the right, and you can tell because you have a turn fin. That's where the dowels for the turn fin go. We're not doing any wood. We're just going to glue the foam together. That's it. We're just killing time, all right? Save a step. This is how I build boats fast. I don't just like glue shit, go in and watch Netflix. I usually just do what other bits I can. And we're going to use the Sponsson pins to align these. Okay, mix up some epoxy, use the Sponsson pins, bada bing. So, be right back. These, I do this a little bit different. I do not use clamps. We're going to just use weights because this is just foam. Not too worried about it, okay? So, these are the pins. And we're just going to do this. Stick a weight there, pull the pins out. Very important, do not glue the pins into anything. Okay? Alright, these come with the kit. So what we're going to do, simple enough, right? Make sure you got the matches. 3 holes in the back, 3 holes in the back. That's the right, this is the left. Again, doesn't matter if you're going this way or this way. Irrelevant. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to line this up with epoxy. No big deal. I'm going to use 5 minute. Perfectly fine to use 30. Not a big deal. Okay. Do not, because like in my old videos or past videos, you've seen me thin this with alcohol. Do not thin it with alcohol when you're using it on foam. Bad day at the zoo. Might eat through it. Okay. mix this up. Epoxy is pretty thick. You should always mix epoxy for about... There's my smoking hot wife. Yakking away. Alright. Woo! Screw me! Alright. Okay. And then work fast. Now, what I try to do is avoid these holes. That way you don't get a ton of schmutz down on your workbench. Really, what you also should do when you're doing this, now the instructions tell you to do this a little bit different. They, Joe shows you a way to do them all in one, basically one step, the whole wooden sides and both pieces. I'm only doing this right now. I'm really out of step just because I want to save some time, just because I'm waiting for stuff to cure. So we're just going to put these together. Pin, pin. Put a weight in there. Okay. Done. You're perfectly fine to clamp these if you want, but you don't have to. Make sure there's no schmutz on your pins. Rinse and repeat. Do the other side. I'll do the other side. Be right back. Everything will be done like magic. Okay, we're back. So remember that fancy dancy razor blade I had you make? You can see, so these are the sides, and the bottoms are flush. The tops have grooves where lids go, so you can tape on the lids, which is nice. Okay, but take this blade, any wood glue that you've got in there, you can go along with this edge, see, like that, and wood glue comes out real easy. Not a big deal. Okay, right along here. See that? Works awesome. Okay, so if I had one thing that I think people might complain about, if you're not used to riggers and you're kind of new to building, is it's really cool when all the laser marks are supposed to face each other, because that way you don't have these ugly laser marks. But the problem with that is you don't know what's what. So what you may want to do before you glue all these things together is label them, which I did not do. You figure it out, it's not a big deal. But so this is bulkhead 1, bulkhead 2, bulkhead 3 has the lip in it. Bulkhead 4 looks like the transom. Bulkhead 5 is the transom. Okay, now there are subtle differences. You can't really screw up where it goes. They're kind of polarized. Okay, so you can see like these tabs aren't directly in the middle. It only goes one way. So this is bulkhead 1 goes like that. If you were to put it in backwards, it would be like that. It would not work. Okay, so that's happy days. Easy enough. Okay, so there's 1. 2, if you look at the directions, and it says this in the beginning of the directions, like, hey, some of the pictures aren't totally accurate because we use different model kits, different times, whatever. I totally understand that. In the manual, they show a piece like this for bulkhead 2 that V's in this way and this way. So here and here. The piece I've got only has one way. The V goes towards the bottom in most cases. If not, it does now. Let's see. Can you screw that up? Yeah. V goes towards the bottom. Okay. This is the bottom. All right. The number 3 bulkhead has this slot in it because we're going to put in this lid piece later, not now. That's going to go right in here. If you hear anything in the background, that's my smoking hot wife weed eating, being the good little gal she is. And so this is the right hand side of the tub. Goes like this. These little cooling lines always go to the left. These cooling line holes, that's what those are. Okay, so we're going to do that. There she is. Sexy. All right, do your job. All right. Oh, and there's Boo. You want to be on TV, on YouTube? Come in here. I'm doing a video.
Right now?
Yes, right now. See the camera?
Well.
Yep. Say hi. No, I have to cut that out. Get out. All right, and here's bulkhead 4. And then bulkhead 5. Always keep these to the stern, or I'm sorry, to the port side, left side. You have brass tubes that your cooling lines are going to go through, and they're going to go all the way through the boat. You can't really screw it up, I don't think, but it can be a little bit confusing. Now, the kit comes with a square. The instructions say to go ahead and use tight bond. Let me get my roto twister here. Roto Twister is an adult beverage, by the way, adult immature beverage. So the manual says to go ahead and use tight bond for this. I'm not going to. I'm just going to do it the way I've built quite a few gas riggers. Go ahead and follow the manual, do what the manual says, but I'm not. I'm going to do it the way I've always done it. So I'm going to use CA glue to tack them in, then I'm going to epoxy everything. So the kit comes with a square, which is really a good idea. Really clever, okay? And we're going to square this up. Now, is this totally like, oh, it's got to be square or it's just going to be a wreck? No, because the bottom, when you glue the bottom in, it's going to square everything up. But you want to get it somewhat decent, right? So this is activator. This is, I get this shit off Amazon. Mitre Belle. I have a list in the description of this video of all my videos of the stuff I use on Amazon. I use medium CA for this. You can use thin. I just think medium's easier to use. Just general rule of thumb. These little squeeze bottles that I get. I buy CA glue in big things, big bottles, and then I get these little squeeze bottles. Are great. And you know, you've seen me do the trick 1,000 times where I take a lighter after I'm done. I heat up that needle and blow it out, and it keeps it from getting clogged up. Okay, make sure these things are well seated down. Okay. And we're just putting a little bit of CA. If we need to pop these out, it'll be real easy to pop these out, because we're going to epoxy these after we get the other side on. Okay. We're going to fit the other side. We're going to square it up. We'll tape it, make sure it's nice and tight. Alright, now for this one, I'm going to do this one last. I'm going to do this one. Now, what I want to do, we're going to be putting another plate here. Okay? Where is it? This one. Okay? We're going to be putting that plate there. So I don't want glue along this edge because it's just going to make it harder to fit in there proper. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here, put the square in the middle. You'll see what I mean here in a sec. I'm almost out of CA. I should probably order some more. I've had this CA for freaking 2 years. I can't believe it still works. Okay, put it on the inside. You don't need a huge bead. We're not freaking welding. This doesn't have to be space safe like the shuttle, right? Okay. And if you did screw something up and you put them in inverted, whatever, this process is real easy to correct. You can just kind of wiggle it back and forth, pop it off, and do it again. Real easy. But this is really nice. Gives you kind of a second set of hands. Okay. Okay. Now, one of the things that you want to do, we go to put the other side on, make sure there's no glue in the slots. All right. Make sure there's no glue on these. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to try to square it up, CA glue it, and then I'm just going to epoxy. I'm going to tape it so it kind of stays square. And then bada bing. So that's what we're going to do. Take this piece. Okay. Take your fancy dancy razor blade. Get that excess wood glue off. And in these little gaps, use this fancy dancy edge you did. That's my new word of the day. Fancy dancy.
What's your pronoun? Fancy dancy.
Okay, there you go. Alright. Cool. Make sure there's no goop. Ken, talking to you. You guys, you know, anybody out there that's really into boats and just likes to have fun, good conversation, consider joining our little chat group. Shoot me an email. My email's in the description. And I'll shoot you a link. And you can join us. We have a good old time. Bunch of old boys. We're not that old. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to do the exact same thing. It's going to be like this. I'm going to CA glue it, tack it, 90 it up, and then we're going to epoxy it, and then we're going to call it a day for this video. Be right back. So you can see what I did here. I already glued this first one. What we're going to do is I'm going to, hopefully you have bigger hands than me, it makes it easier. We're going to square this up. Is it super important? Do the best you can. Hold it. This is just how I do it. Hit it with some CA, hit it with some activator. Make sure you got a good... See, it's still going to wiggle. And like I said, once you put the bottom on, it's going to automatically square this up. Not a big deal. Not worried about it. How I usually build tubs is I take 90 angle. Hang on. This stuff, 90 angle, okay, aluminum, longer strips, and I literally screw it to the workbench, and I put one there. I mock it up. I put the bulkheads in, I mock it up, okay. I put one on the other side, and I clamp the rails in and do this whole thing, and it makes it really, really straight. On smaller riggers, you almost have to do that. Bigger ones, not so much. Okay, so gonna go ahead and finish these other three. Be right back. So now this is all done. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take these TVs, transom thing. Okay, these are going to reinforce our transom back here. Okay, and we're gonna use some tight bond. We're gonna clamp them in here. This is right side up. In here. Okay, we're going to clamp them using probably office clamps, and then we're going to also do the same thing with the transom. You can see this thing still moves. So having it square, 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 I haven't epoxied it yet. I'm going to square it up a little bit better. I'm going to try to get it to hold frame a little bit when I epoxy it. I'm going to put down wax paper, maybe take some 2x4s. It's just how I do it. I'm old school. I can't help it. So we're going to take this transom stabilizer, or doubler, and we're going to put it right there in the back. Okay, nice and easy, Japanesey. All right, all with wood glue, and then we're going to square everything up. Actually, I'll square it up first, so we'll be right back. All right, so now what we've done, I squared it up with my piece of 90 angle. I couldn't find my other one. This is what I use for building small riggers, and I just used a 2x4. Made sure it was square-ish. It doesn't have to be perfect, because when you put the bottom on, even with epoxy, this thing isn't going to be rigid. It's still going to wiggle like this. I guarantee it. But when you put that bottom on, bottoms in this case, it's really going to get crazy. Okay, no big deal. I did forget to put the nose piece on. Oops. So the nose looks like this, says nose, and it's going to go right here. And I'm going to CA glue that, and then epoxy that as well. So, oops. So what we're going to do now, I did put the transom on with tight bond, okay? And I put in these reinforcements on the sides of the transom. Okay, those are clamped in. But I'm still going to epoxy in there with a brush. Just move these back and forth. And I'm going to mix up 5 minute. You can use 30, you can use 50, whatever. I've got some, what's that crazy? I got some really 24-hour cure craziness in there. And we're just going to do fillets, little right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, all the way down with whatever epoxy you choose. Or they said, Uncle Joe said use Type Bond 3, perfectly fine. Go ahead if that's what you want to use. I'm just old school. I use epoxy on everything. Okay, so except for laminations. That's why I still have a freaking half a gallon of that stuff left. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to let it sit overnight. It doesn't need to, but that's what's going to happen. We're going to let it sit overnight. Silicon cups, invest in these if you plan on building more than one boat. If you're only going to build one boat, use paper cups, but these things are great. The epoxy pops right out of them when you're done. You reuse them forever. Saves you a lot of money and time. And then tomorrow, we're going to put the bottoms in, the supports for the tubes. We're going to finish the tub. And then we're going to move over to our sponsons, which you already did the foam for. Very, very, very fast builds. Okay, these riggers are the best. They're super fast. I haven't decided if I'm going to use my own nose pieces, because there's nose pieces that go on these. I 3D print my own usually. I have a design that I use, a little bit lighter, a little bit cooler looking. I'll still show you how to use the pine ones. I'm not sure what I'm going to do just yet, but either way. So I'm going to mix up some epoxy, put some fillets in all these little joints here, and rock and roll, call it a day, and then come back tomorrow. So until tomorrow, kids, keep dry side up. Bye.